Hey guys, Ken77Stowe171 back for another ATS video. We are in part 2 of our 1,500-mile trip from Price, Utah, I think, to Houston, Texas. You can actually check that. Yeah, Price, Utah to Houston, Texas, $148,000 trip. We are hauling a load of Kenworth trucks, about 57,000 pounds, I think. We're all hooked. I dropped in the last video. I dropped the trucks right there because that's our service center, and I didn't think I could get that whole thing in and around and sleep for the day. So we're ready to go. We have the 14 liter, still running the 14 liter Detroit 60 series with the Vanta 22 speed transmission.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
It's about 12:30 a.m. So we're going to be driving in the dark for a few hours anyway.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Why do they do that? Look at this. I am not into the road yet. I'm past the stop line, but I'm not into the intersection. But the AI cars always do that shit. They stop. Sometimes they stop in a location where you can't really get around them, and then they don't back up.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Still a little jostly looking that way, like that. Did get the new I did get the new Logitech camera in the mail. Just a basic $20 camera. Tried it out. It does work. I think it was, as the guy mentioned, slightly worse than this one,
Keep right.
but certainly, it would have been serviceable. So we're gonna go 40 east. This will be the point where we are able to find out what the top speed is with this Vanta transmission.
Keep left.
running across I-40 here, we might be able to get some time covered pretty quick. The fuck is all this about? $75. The road narrows, and everybody gets in a clusterfuck. Really enjoyed driving this Freightliner Argosy, but I'm also kind of looking forward to finishing up this long trip and doing some other loads in some of the other trucks that we've got. Kind of think I want to do one in the W900. It's been a while since we drove the green Legacy W900. I'd also like to drive that Mack R truck again. That was a lot of fun. We drove that one, only 300 horsepower, and ran that 80,000-pound load with it. It was surprisingly good. So we are in top gear. T, the letter T up there at the top. That's the top gear for this manual transmission. And at 75 miles an hour, we're sitting a little under 1,500 revs, which is perfect. Let's see if we can run 80. Still just a little over 1,500. Okay. Just at the top of the green at 85. So it's definitely a 95, probably 95 mile an hour truck. And it said turns 55. So we will slow it back down.
Keep left.
That one's definitely tight. As soon as I engaged the cruise control there, it dropped a gear. It went up a gear. One thing I really do miss on the W900 is better headlights. These are just not that great. In real life, you can fix that by putting some seriously good headlights in it. But just whatever's available in the game, you know, isn't that amazing. They're standard 5x7 squares, I think. So there are plenty of great LED options in that size. Plus, you can mount whatever the hell you want on the bull bar. I'd really like to have some light, more light to the left and right. bright enough straight ahead, but it's lacking to the sides a bit. And the low beams definitely do not reach out as well as the low beams do in some of the other trucks. Be interesting to
Keep
see
left.
what be interesting to see what our fuel economy is.
Keep left.
Let's see what our plan is. So we're going to be running across 40 and then diving onto 287 and then running down 35 to 49, 45 to Houston. So we'll have this diagonal section here of state routes. Looks pretty straight, but you know, don't know, but could be a bunch of towns. I wonder if the overhead lights are not turned on, and they're not. I wish it would stop doing that. It always turns those back off. So when the high beams do go on, it should be way brighter now. If they make any difference at all. I don't know. Almost went and bought a 4K TV today. But I didn't. Saw a video review on a good gaming TV, 144 hertz refresh rate, 4K, has all the stuff you would want for a gaming TV. 65-inch Hisense brand, about $700. That's better. Problem is, those are only on when the high beams come on, and the low beams kind of suck. They make a 55-inch, which I thought was $200 cheaper. But none of the local stores had one. The closest one was 300 miles east. It's a couple $100 cheaper. It's still 5 inches bigger diagonal than the TV I have, higher resolution. The other thing I thought was if I decide to move to playing the game in a gaming room, the 65-inch TV sitting, you know, basically as close as a monitor, I think would be so large you wouldn't be able to see the edges of it very easily. Where the 55-inch, I think you might. And it was $200 cheaper, and it's still an improvement. Don't really need a bigger screen, that much of a bigger screen for my use case. So saving a couple $100. would be worth it. But I'm guessing the 55 inch is, you know, everybody
Keep
wants
left.
65-inch or bigger now, so it's probably just not that popular. Also, transporting a 65-inch TV in my car, I don't know how I would do that. Um, Amazon has it for the same price. Thought about just ordering it on Amazon, let them deliver it. It's free delivery and it's the same price as the retail at Best Buy.
Keep left. Keep right, and then turn right.
Yeah, we're taking 287.
Turn right. Go straight on.
Sometimes these state routes are just as nice and smooth as the interstates, but then you have towns often, you know, where it goes up to a high speed and then it slows down to 45 and then 35 and you get into the town and beautiful sunset there. You know, with this 22-speed transmission and all those low gears, you might be able to run a smaller, less powerful engine. Might be interesting to try that too. Run one of the 12 liter variants. Little fast for that. It's going to be a way station. As we've discovered, you can bypass these.
Go straight up. Go straight up.
Finding in my little button box that the gear indicator and the tack isn't really that helpful. So probably going to remove that. Frees up a big corner of the screen area. I'll have to think about what I might like to have in there instead. Maybe average fuel economy, or I wonder if I can get the. I'd like to have the like time until till you're gonna fall asleep. That'd be a nice one to have in there, so I wouldn't have to keep looking at it in the navigation. I don't know whether it can export that data or not. Yeah, I've got the screen in like 480p, 120 hertz, the eye tracking. I was thinking about maybe turning off the up and down too. I don't really need that. Of course. Might need to get into one of those new, get back into the Kenworth T680, 680. Um, I did an engine swap. What a lot of cops. Did an engine swap in that one while I was doing some maintenance. I don't actually remember what I put in it at the time, but I try to make sure that the trucks have different engines in them for a little variety, but also that it'll be a good choice. And some of them don't have same choices as others. Um, I was running a PACCAR, whatever the most powerful stock PACCAR engine was. Um, but I switched it to something else, but I don't remember what it was. Because if I remember correctly, I liked that truck, but I just thought it was a little bit underpowered.
Keep right.
This truck's been very pleasant to drive. Really like the dash cluster. I don't like the mirror placement. There, you got to look too far to the left and right to see them, which is just a game issue. It's not a real life issue. In real life, I think this truck would be amazing to drive. Um, but like the W900 is the opposite way. The mirrors are out there to the left, right in front of you. I think we're staying on
Keep
287.
left.
Yeah. The mirrors are out there in front of you, so you don't have to turn your head as much to see them. But the dash is almost impossible to read with my monitor. Button box would take care of some of that, but
Keep left.
you hear the echo when we went under the overpass there. We're going to stay on 287 for a while. I think with the 4K screen, it's going to be a lot easier to read road signs and things from farther away. Probably easier to read the dash. There's a balloon, hot air balloon off there in the distance. One concern I have if I go to a 4K screen is that my current GPU will not be able to drive the game effectively, and I'll have to turn the detail down. Right now, pretty much everything's up. I think I have grass detail turned down because honestly, it's kind of, I don't know, it seems like a waste to me. Like, why do I need to see every blade of grass? You know, it's kind of, doesn't really add, for me, it doesn't add to the game that much. Why did you do that? Why did you jump to the left lane for no fucking reason? Now they're going to jump back. That's realistic. People do that shit. I could always just run the new screen in, 1440, like try to pick a ratio that's a resolution that's a little easier to handle. On bus. Also, also think maybe what I'm going to start doing is maybe not recording these really long trips, and just save those for doing them
Keep left.
myself. You know, the longer trips do help build points and stuff, but maybe pick some more interesting trips for the YouTube video, for the YouTube channel. You know, maybe using the Mac R, doing some heavy hauls with that.
Keep left.
Or coming into one of the big spaghetti bowls here. Yeah, we're coming into Fort Worth here. So we're going to do this big spaghetti bowl here. There's another one there. We're going to go up and over, I think, the top or under, I'm not sure. And then there's this thing here. That one's kind of interesting too. It's a bunch of spaghetti bowls in the DFW area. And we're going to go on the bottom layer of this one.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Yeah. Not going on the top layer, but we're going to go in the middle here. One nice thing about this Vanta 22 speed is there's just more ratios to choose from, you know. Let you get more work done.
Keep left.
I'm going to miss being able to see the cruise control number up there like that. Might be something to see if I could put in the button box. I don't know if it'll let you do that or not. You know, some of the newer trucks have a digital. This is not a new truck, and it has that, which is nice. In fact, it's one of the more visible digital readouts. I really like this truck. If you guys didn't notice, this truck with digital mirrors would be amazing. Forgot to get a drink when I got up last.
Keep left, and then keep right. Keep right, and then exit right.
Big jumping right there. The only place where I really notice it. Bypass the way station. I wish instead of having just the red eye up there at the top, you know, where the bed that they show, I wish it would just show you the damn time remaining. In the game, that's helpful, and in real life, I guess it's helpful too. How many legal hours do you have left? Except when you get tired isn't always based on on your log. I thought about maybe turning this off, the up and down, seeing if it helps. And in reality, there's not a lot of reason in game why you would be looking up and down. When we get our first yawn, we'll start looking for a place. We only have 220 miles to go, so we'll definitely make that in our next sequence. I might even just keep the video going at this point. We're at 37 minutes. We should be able to keep it in under an hour. And it's because we had a lot of open interstate where we could run high speeds, where the first section that was less true.
Keep left.
Fuck off. Oh, we don't have a choice. Oh, yeah, we do. We could have bypassed it.
Reconfigured.
Right there is that big shift. That one too. 6 to 7, 7 to 8 are kind of wide. If you had a less powerful engine, that might be a bit troublesome. Oh, there's our first yawn. Let's see what we got. Fuck, we're not even that far. Of course, there was one right at that fucking exit right there. Doesn't really matter. We're not going to be able to go 160 miles with the time remaining. I don't think. Let's see if there's anything close to the destination so that we could deliver, and then there's one right there. So it says 2 hours and 57 minutes. Um, you know what? I'd rather just sleep and not worry about it. I don't think there's 3 hours. Okay, let's see if I can remember what the hell the key is. I only have 2 hours to sleep. So we do not have enough hours to get there before we crash. So let's do that. We'll go in here, sleep, and then just continue. We're at 40 minutes, and then it's not that long, so we'll
Let's do this.
we'll just sleep there, and then I'll just keep doing the video. It'll be a little over an hour, but I don't see the point in breaking it. 200 only 160 miles left. Doing a short third part seems just
Keep
as
right,
dumb.
and then exit right. Exit right.
So when you get the first yawn, you got about an hour and a half.
Turn left.
Okay, they have to stop. We're gonna once again did the no, they're on. Okay. We don't need fuel. Thought about stopping at this repair shop right here and trying a different engine for the last bit of it, but I don't want to do that. Let's get her done.
Okay, let's find a new route.
I think the yeah, that we had we bypassed that stop, so it's confused.
Drive safe. Go straight on. Keep left, and then exit left. Exit left.
think I'd like to get back into that Mac R next. I enjoyed drive when we did that really heavy load in a very underpowered one. That was a lot of fun. The one that I have in my fleet, I upgraded the engine to I think 500 horsepower or something or other with a 18 speed in it. So it'll certainly haul way better than what we experienced. Yeah, one of the reasons I want to get rid of the up and down is when I talk, when I move my jaw, sometimes the the it does this shit up and down for no reason. So I'm kind of thinking about getting rid of the up and down. Maybe I'll do that after we fix this load, finish this load. Either that or another, go back to the W900. This has been a lot of fun driving this. It's just so nostalgic for me since I actually drove a truck basically with the same cockpit, the same dashboard and steering wheel. Thought it was but one of the better truck interiors I'd ever been in. I drove other trucks and thought, man, why do you make the speedo numbers so fucking small that you can't read them hardly? Like, why do you do that? You need to know that shit as a truck driver. You know, cops love, you're going 56 and a 55. They target commercial drivers more. Having a big readable dial. Analog dials are great. The problem is you can't read them usually. You got to look carefully at them. That's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to have to stare at your fucking speedometer for 3 seconds to be able to read it. You want to be able to see the number at a glance, Definitely one of my pet peeves with trucks is, user interface choices
Keep left and then exit left.
were not great.
Exit left. Go straight on.
Boy, would have been easy to dive to their left there and hit that barrier. Boy, this Vanta 22 certainly makes the truck driving a little more easy. It definitely picks gears more effectively.
Right.
No, okay. It is cheating a bit because I don't think it's a transmission you could ever really get in a truck. But again, this is a game, not real life. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's heavy.
Keep left.
A couple other trucks we haven't driven we haven't driven the Volvo, we haven't driven the T680, T680 with the eye tracking. We haven't driven the Freightliner Cascadia with. We drove the K100 Kenworth. Don't think we drove the long nose Peterbilt. Tell you, man, I really fell in love with that K900, man. Well, I'm sorry, with the W900. What a fantastic rig that I thought I would hate, and just built it for the historical purpose of driving one for the first time, and found out I loved it. There's a reason why it was one of the most popular trucks in the world for decades. Just because I never drove one in real life. and it's a long nose
80.
truck, which I
Right.
thought would be a pain in the ass, and maybe it is in real life, maybe it isn't.
Keep right, and then turn right.
We're still only half a tank. We drove 2,000 miles on half a tank
Turn
of
right.
fuel. Be interesting to put the 500 horsepower 12.7 liter 60 series back in this. A lot quieter engine with this transmission. Might do pretty well. I like the turbine noise with this, but that 12.7 is a lot quieter. Really appreciate the engine brake being quieter. It's just whatever truck they record, they used as their
Keep right,
sample
and
had a
then
straight
exit
pipe or
right.
something, which is cool,
Exit right.
but can get monotonous over time. I would My 12.7 that I had in my Cascade, in my Century, Freightliner Century, you could hear the turbine whistle like this, that noise. Not that loud, maybe half that volume, but mechanically was very quiet. The engine brake was very quiet. Not that powerful either, though. It was only a three-cylinder engine brake. The best engine brake I ever had was in a, I don't know what year it was. It was a Volvo VNL 6 something. Don't know. Um, had a Cummins ISX, 15 liter Cummins ISX, I think. And that had a 600 horsepower engine brake. Let me tell you, that thing was fantastic. You could go down, didn't matter what, 8, 10% grades, didn't matter what the hell it was. You could set the cruise control at
Go
whatever
straight on.
speed, and when it got over 3 miles an hour over that set speed limit,
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
okay, this is the route you told me to fucking take.
Go straight on. Reroute.
What? It is really confused. The navigation is really confused down here. Pretty sure this is the way you have to come in to get to the port. Let's see if it'll let me reset navigation. You might have been able to turn right and go in there. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, that Cummins ISX was great with that 600 horsepower engine brake. You could set the cruise control to whatever speed, and just go down the hill. Never have to touch the brake. 45,000 pounds in the box, basically max gross GWV, and the engine brake could handle
Go
all the way. You
straight
did
on.
never have to touch the brake at all, and it would increase the brake, decrease the engine brake to keep you within
Okay,
about
let's find a new route.
3 miles per hour of your set speed, and then it would back off the brake, and then it would bring on the brake. It was amazing. Um, just gave you a lot of extra security and ease going down a hill, where you could just set the cruise and relax and concentrate on driving around the corners, instead of managing your brake. It was amazing. Where the Schneider truck with the 3-cylinder engine brake, you could not do that. Yeah, see, I'm pretty sure maybe we could have gone that other exit. I don't know. I don't think so though. Maybe you could. We'll know in a minute, because if that road to our left right there, that does actually exit. Like, is there a road right there? No. See, it's blocked off. So you could not come in that way. So the nav told me I was going the right way. Surprised we're not taking this to a Kenworth dealer. Usually that's what you're doing.
Go straight on. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished.
Of course. It wants it right fucking there. Can't back up too far with these, or they'll start to go wonky on you. Like that. Alright, guys. That's the end of this one. Let's see what we get. Excellent. Nice. We are legend. Alright, guys. That'll be it for this video. I'm gonna make some changes to the computer. I'm gonna change the eye tracking, I think, back to 7. I'm gonna do some changes. And then we'll be back in a little bit I want to drive something different. So I'm going to figure that out, get that all set up, and we'll be back for that in a future video. Ken's 97 Stowe signing off. You be safe out there.